Dixie State University Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3 KXDS Santa Clara. DSU Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3 is brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer. We hear you. And now, it's time for DSU Athletics.
Welcome into Radio Dixie 91.3. I am Martin Kelly here. Tough, gritty would be the way to describe the Lady Trailblazers this season. Some games they've shown up and that some games they show up that they know they know how to win some games. And some games you wondered how they even waken out of bed today. It is just startling by the fact that this team sometimes has games they play well. Sometimes they have games where they don't play well at all. And it has really been the reason why this team's been up and down all season long. It's been one of the reasons why this team's been up and down all season long. Hello, everyone. I'm Martin Kelly, welcoming you to another great night of Trailblazer basketball. We have a doubleheader tonight with the Lady Trailblazers taking on the Lady Mountaineers of Western Colorado. Tonight, this is going to be a good match between two teams that are in the mid-average pack of the standings here. Western Colorado, a not bad team. They are 12-7 on the season. They are looking to get back into the conference standings. They play average basketball. They are in the average standings when it comes to the RMAC standings. The Lady Trailblazers come into this game 11-8 off a split series, one win and one loss over last weekend during their home stretch against Fort Lewis and Adams State. We're going to jump into that here in just a few minutes with Western Colorado. They've been on a little bit of a winning streak since losing. They've been on a little bit of a losing streak since playing against Dixie State the last time. They were off a kind of weird stretch, not the best stretch for the team when it comes to them playing this well. But I'm going off script here. Let me try to get back on script here. I'm all over the place. I got the wrong contestant. I thought it was Colorado Mason. It's Western Colorado. Coach J.D. Gusson tells me, you got it wrong. I was asking the questions about Colorado Mason and all that, and he's like, dude, what are you talking about? We beat Western Colorado last time. I'm like, huh? Oh, yeah, Western State Colorado's here tonight. So I got that right here. But, and anyway, let's jump back into this with Dixie State. The last two games for the Trailblazers, they split a home series last week between Fort Lewis and Adams State. And let me tell you right now, let's break this down game by game by game. We just have about a little bit over 11 minutes here before the time on the clock starts here. Last game for them, when it came to Fort Lewis, was a rough stretch. They were down as much as 12 in that game. They were shooting the ball, a lot of ISO ball. They weren't really playing that well. They were all over the place when it came to the shooting. They started playing a little bit better. They started playing a little bit more consistent basketball, a little bit more togetherness basketball, shall I say. They got one of my favorite players involved, Cameron Mooney. I think should be one of the focal points of this offense. In the next coming few years, she's going to be one of the future, like you say, with any team, the franchise. Cameron Mooney is going to be one of the franchise for this team. They can work in that transition basketball, slow the pace down type basketball, work her in. I think this team is going to be able to win a lot of games this upcoming season and prove a lot of people wrong that this team isn't just a simple fluke. They're not a fluke. This team is for real. They've had some rough stretches this season. It has not been perfect. Since the Western Colorado game, where they won this game in a fashion stance. They won this game against Western Colorado 57-50 was the final score. 57-50 was the final score between them and Western Colorado. Since then, they lost to Fort Lewis 66-60 and then beat Adams State 69-54. Let's jump back into the Fort Lewis game here real quick. Not the best game, and I got to say it was not. Again, they were down in this game, and they came back. And to see them come back was a good thing for me. When it was my confidence. When I'm out there, again, forcing the shots, forcing a lot of missed errors, trying to force it to other people. And when they finally decided, hey, we're not going to do that, they got a lot of these going, and it worked. It worked perfectly. And I think that's going to be one of the keys for this team to get off the ground this season, get back into it, make sure they're working really well together, not just trying to play a lot of ISO ball. You play a lot of ISO ball, you're trying to just make one guy or one girl shoot the ball most of the time. She's going to make her own shot. She's going to make her own play. Yes, that always works somewhere. It's not going to work here. I don't think it works for Dixie State. I think for them, they have to work in a system where you're moving the ball around. You're feeding it to everybody. Everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. Everybody's together. Everybody works it out together. And when you do that, you're going to win games. And that is the key to winning games out here. And that is what's going to lead. And that's what's going to lead to a lot of games. As they're doing a little presentation on the floor right here at the very moment. Congratulations to that professor. Here, he's got a little prize, he's got a little toys to take home with him. So congratulations to him on that. I should have got the name of that person, but I'll get to that in just a few moments here. Here in a few moments. We got a lot more to dive in here. Let's dive into Western Colorado. Western Colorado coming off a couple stretches where they haven't played fairly well, but they have played enough to win some games. Since the loss to Dixie State, they've been on a 2-game losing streak. Not the way you want to, get back into it. Just, it's not the way you want to do it. But these are two good teams that are going to be good for both teams. This is a good game for both teams. The umpire staff is a good crew. The girls are all ready. All teams are all ready. They are going to be matching up tonight in a fairly good way. And they're going to prove a lot of people wrong. It is going to take a lot from this team to upset. It's going to take a lot from Dixie State to upset Western Colorado. All right, 14-5 for Western Colorado. They're 10-5 in the conference. Let me take that back. They haven't lost 2 straight. They've won 2 straight. Since the loss to Dixie State, they haven't lost since. They beat Colorado Christian 62-49, and they won over Regis State 72-58. A Regis team that Dixie State lost to earlier in the year. Is a good way for them to bounce back and get ready for this game. Definitely something this team is going to work on in the process. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout here on Radio Dixie. When we come back, I'm going to wrap this up here on the pregame. We're going to get this game underway. We're going to give you the starting lineups. I'm going to give you my keys to the game. I talked to Coach J.D. Gutson. I also talked to Laura Wrestling, the head coach for the Western Colorado. Don't touch that dial. 60-second commercial here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
The following message is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We are just about 5 minutes here. We got about 5 minutes until this game's about to get started. We got a good group tonight with you tonight. It is going to be an awesome matchup between Western Colorado and Dixie State University tonight. Both of these teams are going to match up fairly well between each other in this one. As we will look more into this, let's dive into this a little bit more. Obviously, we got 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It's about as much time as they have left in this segment right here. Then we got the introductions, and then we got the game. Dixie State versus Western Colorado. It's going to be a good one here. Some keys of the game. I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it all season long until Dixie State proves me a little bit wrong. I don't think they have proved me wrong. Start trying to lessen the shots when it comes to just jacking up threes. There's so many games where this team shoots so well and stays ahead, gets the right foul calls, gets the right turnovers, gets the right passes, gets the right shots, has every moment go right for them in a game. And then there's moments you're looking around and you're like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys just jacking up threes? And I have nothing wrong with a team trying to shoot that many threes or trying to improve their three-point shooting. It is one of their things that makes this team go. It is one of the things that make this team who the team is. And I have nothing wrong with that. But when you do it on an inconsistent basis and try not to fix it, and you just keep jacking up shots over and over and over and over again, it has to get to a point where you're like, what are you guys doing? Like, try to find a way to fix that situation. When you fix that situation, my God, this is going to look a lot better when it comes to the games, and that is what is going to be the key for this team when it comes to when it comes to the games. It is going to be an interesting aspect to see what happens with Dixie State tonight. This is the key. This is one of the key games for them. You're going up against two good Colorado teams that are probably going to finish in the top 5 of the RMAC standings, have an opportunity to win the RMAC tournament, and go to the big dance called the AK, the March Madness, for the Division II games. That is a dance you want to have an invitation to, or at least have credibility to at least be like, hey, Dixie State, opportunities were there for them, and they stepped up. That is going to be something that this team is going to have to take advantage of, as we see the Western Colorado men's basketball team just walk into the door right here. They're going to be cheering on the Lady Mountaineers here just in a few minutes. We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds until this game gets started. Let's jump into the Western Colorado. I mentioned it, 14-5, 2-game winning streak. I took back what I said earlier. I thought it was right. They've been on a winning streak. They have not been on a losing streak. So I'll take back what I said. I own it. I do it. But if you're just tuning in, Dixie State, Western Colorado, tonight, 5:30. This game is going to be a good one. But let's jump back into Western Colorado. This team is a good team. And when they matched up between Dixie State last time, it was 57-50 last time. That is not much of a difference there in that one. Dixie State has had a lot of close games. Last time they had close games against Fort Lewis. They had close games against Adams State. They had close games against MSU Denver. They had close games against Colorado Christian. They've had a lot of close games this season that have gone their way and have not gone their way. There is a split, like up and down, rising with this team that doesn't just, say, hey, we won this game, and then you have moments where they're like, oh, we lost that game. Western Colorado is that team where, hey, they have good wins, and they haven't had any bad losses this season. They've been able to keep it on a roll. They've been able to keep up that momentum. They've been able to drive it all season. They've been doing a good job with staying ahead of everybody, and it has worked out well for this team here in this one. We got 2 minutes here until this game starts. Let me give you some starting lineups here for you tonight. Number 4, Jesse Erickson is going to be the starting point guard for this team tonight for the Western Colorado team. Number 10, Tamara Goddard is going to be their starting shooting guard. Number 20, Chandler Willis will be their starting small forward. Number 21, Samantha Coleman is going to be their starting power forward, and Jada Kanzler is going to be their starting center for this team. For the Dixie State Trailblazers, it's the typical lineup. It's the same lineup. Mariah Martin, coming off the fact that she's worked her way back into the starting lineup. She has not been wholly healthy. I've talked to her. They said she's got off to a little rough stretch. She's worked in her way back into it, as we are pumping the fist between the refs here. They worked their way right back in here. And it has been a good thing for this team to get back in. Mariah Martin is the starting point guard. Lisa Van Kampen is the starting shooting guard. Kelsey Stevens is going to play small forward. 21, Morgan Meyer is going to be the power forward, and center is going to be Allie Franks here. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout right here. They're going to be playing the national anthem. 2-minute timeout, 2 60-second timeouts. As soon as we get back from that, we're going to give you more stuff, keys of the game, and we're going to get this game underway here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We're live in the Burns Arena for a good doubleheader matchup tonight between Dixie State Trailblazers, the Lady Trailblazers, and the Mountaineers of Colorado, Western Colorado tonight. This is going to be a good matchup here tonight. Both teams have really played very well basketball as they're getting the introductions given out to both teams here. They're going to start with the Western Colorado. Again, if you're just tuning in, starters for tonight for the Western Colorado Mountaineers, Jesse Erickson is going to be their starting point guard. Tamara Goddard is going to be their starting shooting guard. Number 20, Chandler Willis will be their starting small forward. Number 21, Samantha Goddard is going to be the starting power forward. And number 55, Jalen Kanzler is going to be their starting center on this team. This is going to be a good team to play against for your Dixie State Trailblazers. As always, London Powell, Mariah Martin is going to be back in the starting lineup. It's going to be her first time back in the starting lineup for a while here Mariah Martinez is going to be the starting point guard, sophomore out of Sandy, Utah here in Atlas High School. She's 5'7" and a guard. Number 5 will be Lisa Van Kapen. She's going to be the starting shooting guard. She's a senior. She's a forward on the team. 6'1" on this team. She's out of Morgan, Utah, Morgan High School, and she also went to Snow College for a minute there. Junior college. She's gonna be the starting shooting guard on this. Kelsey Stevenson, the sophomore guard, 5'11", out of Willard, Utah, Box Elder, Utah High School. That's where she went to high school. She's gonna be the starting small forward. Four-year starting power forward, Morgan Myers, a sophomore guard, 5'7", out of St. George, Utah, the local here, Desert Hill High School, as they're introducing the 2018-2019 Dixie State Trailblazers here. And finally, the starting forward for the starting center for your team, Allie Franks, a junior, 5'10", out of Redding, California. Enterprise High School is where she went. It's going to be a good one tonight between these two teams. I do welcome everybody.
Lisa Van Kampen. A 5'11" sophomore guard from Willard, Utah, number 11, Kesley Stevenson.
As we get this game underway, this is going to be a good match between both teams, really. These two teams match up fairly well between each other. Western Colorado has thrown out more of their, toughness lineup. Jalen Kanzler is their starting center. She's a little bit bigger. The only big forward on this team for Dixie State, besides Lisa Van Kampen, is Cameron Mooney. She is one of the other big forwards on this team. It is going to take a lot out of this team to get this game over. Western Colorado comes in again. They're all black, red trimming, red lettering, red numbering. They're all over the place with those. Dixie State comes into this all white jerseys, blue lettering, and the little Dixie State Trailblazer logo on it with red trimming and the official Dixie State Trailblazer logo. Let's get this game underway. J.D. Kanzler, Lisa Van Kapen are at the tip-off, and it'll go to Western Colorado's. Tamara Goddard is going to start it off here. She's going to drive on the right side of the top of the key. She's going to try to feed it in there. She gets it off to Samantha Goddard. Goddard going to try to drive her away, and she does a little couple post moves, and it's good there. So Western Colorado is going to strike blood first in the water. 2-0 is the lead for Western State Colorado here as we settle in here. 9:37 left to go. Mariah Martin gives out to Van Kapen. Back over to Mariah Martin. Back over to Allie Frank. She drives on the left side up, and it's good. Dixie State ties Western State Colorado 2-2 as Tamara Goddard is going to bring it up on the left side. Gives it off to Samantha Goddard. Gives it back off to Chandler Willis. Chandler Willis going to drive it on the left side. Willis takes a little step back. No. Gives it over to Kanzler. Back over to Erickson. Erickson going to drive on the right side. Gives out to Willis. Willis going to drive with the right side. No. They're going to say she stepped out of bounds, and the ball's going to go back to Dixie State. The first turnover the night for Western Colorado in that one. If you're just tuning in, Western Colorado, Dixie State, 9 minutes already into the game. It's a 2-2 tie ball game here, but we got a good one here tonight. These two teams are matching up. 2 weeks ago, these teams two matched up. As Lisa Van Kapen is going to take it. She's at the top of the key. Backs it over to Mariah Martin. She's being guarded by Goddard. Goddard gets on the floor there for a turnover, and it's going to go off of Tamara Goddard there. She's going to own it. As J.D. Gusson barks out orders, Kelsey Stevens is going to inbound it here. Trying to give it out to Mariah Martin. Gives it out to Van Kapen. Back over to Mariah Martin. Martin gets a little screen there by Lisa Van Kapen. Is going to take it. Drive it on the right side. Back over to Van Kapen. Van Kapen going to take a top of the three. Key. No. Rebounded by Erickson. Giving out to Goddard. Goddard gives it off to Samantha Coleman. Coleman drives on the left side. Blocked there by Morgan Myers. Myers with the first block of the year. Mariah Martin pushes it. Gives it out to Kelsey Stevenson on the left side. Gets a screen there by Martin. Back over to Van Kapen. Back over to Mariah Martin. Mariah Martin drives to her left side. Gives out to Kelsey. She's going to drive to the right side. Screen there by Martin. Stevenson drives it all the way and no good on that little jumper there. Back and forth these two teams go. Tamara Goddard got it now. She's going to give it out to Erickson. Ericsson's going to drive to her right side. Shoots it up. No good. Rebound there by Lisa Van Kapen. Gives it out to Mariah Martin. Give it over to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson pushes it up. Give it out to Morgan Myers. Myers back over to Mariah Martin. She's in the back of the top of the logo. She's going to drive to her left side. No, steps back. Gives it out to Allie Franks. Over to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson on her right side. No, back over to Mariah Martin. Back over to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson on the left side of the key. Gives it out to Allie Franks. Oh, no. She tried to go in for a little easy layup. Over to Morgan Myers. No good on the three. Rebound there by Mariah Martin. She steps out of the key. She's on the left side for a corner three. She's not going to take it. She's going to drive it away to the basket. Gets it up. No good. Dixie State worked so hard for a basket there. Got 2 rebounds there. I could not get the bucket to take the lead in this game. 7:15 left to go here as Erickson's going to have it on the right side of the three for Western Colorado. Gives it back off to Chandler Willis. Back over to Samantha Coleman. Over there. Tipped over there by Mariah Martin. Morgan Myers is going to have it. She's going to push it. Gives it out to Kelsey Stevenson. Too far out and let her out of bounds. As J.D. Gustin tells Morgan Myers to calm down. As they were pushing it at the right tempo, just could not finish it right there. Samara Goddard is going to bring it up. Over to Coleman. Back over to Erickson. She's on the right side. Back over to Kanzer. Kanzer gives out to Willis. Willis loses it there for a second. She almost lost it there for a second. She's going to drive it on the right side. She's going to put it up. No good. No foul call there. Mariah Martinez being gathered up by Tamara Goddard. Goddard still on Mariah Martinez. Martinez going to drive over to the left side. Looking for Elisa Van Kapen. She gives it out to Van Kapen. Van Kapen gives it out to Morgan Myers. Over to Van Kapen. Over to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson on the left side of the corner free throw line. Brian Martin drives it. No. Over to Allie Franks. No good there. Rebound there by Kansas. Giving off to Goddard of Western Colorado. Goddard going to push it up. She's going to drive it all the way to the basket. No good. Turnover there. Got it away there by Morgan Myers. Myers batted it out of the way. Give it out to Brian Martin. She's not going to push it off the court. Martin going to slow it down. It's still a tied 2-2 ball game here with just 6 minutes left to go here. As Morgan Myers now got the ball. Gives out the cut to Stevenson for a easy little back cut slider. And it's good. Dixie State going to take the lead here with 4-2 lead with 5:49 left to go here in this one. God, they're going to slow it down. She's on the right side. She's waiting there. She got a little screen there by Kanzler. Gives it out to Coleman. Gives it back over to Kanzler. Back over to Goddard. Back over to Willis. Back over to Erickson. They're playing hot potato with the ball. Erickson thinking about giving off. No. Gives it over to Kanzler. Back over to Coleman. Coleman takes the three, and it's good. Western Colorado is going to take a 5-4 lead with 5:20 left to go here as Mariah Martinez is going to bring it up for Dixie State. After all the excitement, teams are now slowing down here, playing a little half-court ball instead of pushing it all the way up the tempo as there's 5:10 left to go. Lisa Van Kapen is going to go for a little jump there. No good. Willis is going to give it off to Goddard. Goddard going to push it up. Goddard going to try to drive it all the way. No, she gives it off to Coleman. Coleman going to try to drive it away. No, she tries to give it up to Erickson and let her out of bounds. Subs are going to come in. Number two, Michaela Parker is going to check into the game. As there's a media timeout here. We have reached the 4-minute media timeout here at Burns Arena. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Be right back with more.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 here live in the Burns Arena here in beautiful St. George, Utah on a beautiful campus of Dixie State University. We have reached, it is 5:42 here to start off with, 5:42 on the clock here with 4:58 left to go here on the game clock here as I was trying to tell the time here in St. George time. But that did not work out for me. But let's get back here. Look at some of the stats here. Dixie State shot 2 for 8 in that first few minutes there, and we're 0 for 2 from the three-point line. Let's see what Coach J.D. Gustin has up his sleeve as they come down the court now. Morgan Myers now has it on the right side, gives out to Cameron Moody, who now checks to the game. Cameron Moody now gives out to Morgan Myers. Now back over to Allie Franks. Gets his little screen there by Cameron Moody. I'll give you the starting five as soon as I can. Here in just a minute. Cameron Moody, Kelsey Stevenson, Morgan Myers, Allie Franks, and London Pavlica are on the floor for Dixie State. A couple of changes for Western Colorado. I'll give you those in a minute as London Pavlica is going to turn it over there. Was trying to give the ball off to Morgan Myers. It did not work. Number 4, Erickson. Number 10, Goddard. Number 2, Michaela Parker checks in for Dixie State. for Western Colorado, as Erickson tried to shoot up the ball there. Did not go in. Western Colorado still leading this 5-4. London Pavlik is going to push it up here immediately. Western Colorado wanted a foul there. They're not going to get it, as Western Colorado is not happy. Laura wrestling. She thought there was a couple fouls there that should have gone against Dixie. Dixie State, as number 22, Peyton Paro is going to come in. She's going to take out Erickson of the game. Number 5 was also Samantha Cox. She checked into the game, as Allie Franks gets a little simple bucket there. Gives Dixie State the lead with 3:58 left to go here. Dixie State now with 6-5 lead. Allie Franks, her 4th point of the afternoon so far. Cox gives it out to Willis. Willis over to Cox, over to Parker. Back over to Willis. Willis on the right side of a 3. No, she's not going to take it. She tried to drive it all the way. Goddard's going to take a D3. No time on the clock. No, it's going to be. As Laura Russell is arguing for a minute back on, or a second or something left back on the clock. Here left on the clock. She's not going to get it. As London Pavlik is going to take the ball up now. As I slow down just here a little bit. Cameron Moody gives her a little screen there. And Cameron Moody tried to put a little jumper there. It did not work. Allie Franks tried to feed her with that. Willis is going to try to push it up herself. Over to Goddard. Goddard going to try to drive her on the left side. No, she lost it there for a second. Morgan Myers got it there for a second. No, it got back to Willis. Back over to Paro. Paro gives it out to Willis. Willis going to try to drive it. No, she lost it there for a second. Gives it back over to Goddard. Goddard going to try to push it. She's got 4 seconds left to go on the shot clock. She's going to try to take it up. No. And he's going to go out of bounds. He's going to stay with Western Colorado. Mariah Martinez going to check back into the game. She's going to take Kelsey Stevenson out of this one. Allie Franks, Morgan Myers, London Pavlik, Mariah Martinez, and Cameron Moody are on the floor for Dixie State. It's Willis, Perot, Cox, Parker. That is the 5 for Western Colorado. Goddard, no, is going to give it back off to Cox. Cox thinks about taking it. No, gives out to Willis. Willis going to drive it. No, she's going to get out to Perot. Back over to Cox. Cox at the top of the key. No, she's going to get back off to Goddard. Try to push it in. Now Cox has got it. No. Cox is going to take a 3. No, no good. Rebound there by Western Colorado. Perot's got the rebound. She's on the left side of a 3. No. Turns the ball over there. London Pavlik is going to come over with a turnover. Pavlik is going to try to drive it herself. She pushes it up. Good. 8-5 is the lead for Dixie State here with just 2 minutes left to go here in this one. Tamara Goddard gets a little screen there by Parker. No, she doesn't take it. She drives all the way to the basket. No, it won't be good. Mariah Martinez going to call for her first foul of the afternoon. Goddard going to shoot her first 2 free throws of this afternoon. Goddard shoots it. Good on the first. Erickson, Coleman, and Willis all check back into the game for Western Colorado. Coleman lines it up for the second free throw. And it's good. Coleman good on the second one. She's good for those 2. 8-7 is the lead. 1:55 left to go. Those are Coleman's first 2 points of the afternoon. Allie Franks that gives it off. Now back over to London Pavlik. Kevin Moody gets a little screen there for Mariah Martinez. Back over to London Pavlik. Pavlik get it in there to Cameron Moody. Moody thought about driving it. No, she gives it back over to London Pavlik. Gets a little screen there by Cameron Moody. She takes a little jumper. No, no good. Rebound there by Western Colorado. Colorado going to bring it up now. Goddard, 1:27 left to go here. 8-7 is the lead for Dixie State here. As Erickson going to give it off to Willis. Willis over to Kanzler. Kanzler back over to Coleman. Coleman gives it off to Goddard. Goddard going to drive on the right side. No, back over to Coleman. Coleman tries to get into Kanzler. Kanzler being guarded by Cameron Moody. 2 bigs going at it. Kanzler gets it in. No good. Rebound there by Allie Franks. London Pavlik is going to push it. There's a minute left to go on the clock here. 8-7 is the lead for Dixie State. Mariah Martinez she lost it there for a quick second. Gets a screen there by Cameron Mooney. Gives it back over to London Pavlica. Gets a little screen there. London tries a little twist, and it doesn't work, but she's going to go to the free throw line here. 10, Tamara Goddard is going to get called for the foul. As Morgan Myers and Cameron Mooney are going to come out, Lisa Van Capen and Kelsey Stevens are going to check back in. It's going to go on the inbound line. Mariah Martinez going to inbound it here. Gives it out to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson on the right side of a corner three. No, she can't get out of it. She does have a full shot clock here. London Pavlica gets it now. 45 seconds left to go here on the game clock. Lisa Van Capen drives. Now she gives it out to Allie Franks. Try to give it off there to Mariah Martinez. It didn't work. 38 seconds left to go. 38 seconds left to go here in a very low scoring game. If I'm correct on the records, this is the lowest scoring first quarter for Dixie State women's basketball team in history, as it stands 8-7 with 25 seconds left to go here before the end of this quarter. Goddard going to try to drive it down all the way as much as she could. There's about an 8-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Goddard going to give it out to Cancer. Cancer hangs it on now. 5 seconds left to go here. Goddard going to try to leg for a shot. She's going to try to drive it all the way, and it's good. And the foul is going to be called. Allie Franks is going to get called for the foul. And Tamara Goddard is going to go to the line. As Savannah Cox is at the scorer's table right now, followed by Peyton Paro. Tamara Goddard and Chandler Willis come out of the game right now. 8.9 seconds left to go. Tamara Goddard missed the free throw shot. 5 seconds left to go. Mariah Martin going to try to take a shot at the last second. Martin does a little move at the point. No, it won't work. As that is how the first quarter is going to end here. Western Colorado ahead by 9-8. Lowest scoring game of the season in a quarter for Dixie State, and the lowest scoring quarter in record history in Dixie State women's basketball history. That is a first for them. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Be right back with more. Don't touch that dial.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We're here live in the Burns Arena here for a good one that's going on between Western State Colorado and Dixie State. As it stands 10-8 is the score. If I'm wrong, Tamara Goddard did make the free throw. I did not see her make that free throw, and I guess they just didn't add it to the scoreboard. So I saw it was only 9-8 when we came off a break. So I will check myself there. It is 10-8 here as Dixie State's going to start with the ball on an inbound here. Allie Franks, London Pavlica, Mariah Martin, Lisa Van Capen, and Kelsey Stevenson are on the 5 on the floor for Dixie State. As Stevenson gets the ball back over to London Pavlica, back over to Van Capen. Van Capen on the right side of a free throw line. Turnover there. Harrison for Western Colorado is going to try to drive all the way, and Kelsey Stevenson drove immediately hard into Erickson there. Both of them fell immensely hard on the floor. And Stevenson's a little slow to get up. Erickson's all right. As the trainers are out checking on both of them, it does not look like Kelsey Stevenson can put any pressure on her leg. It is bothering her just a wee bit here. As we're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. We'll be right back here after these messages. Never mind, we're going to keep it here considering there's some little issues going on, but no matter that, we're going to keep it here. 9:41 left to go here in this one. Kelsey Stevens is being taken care of on her side of the board, as there are some technical issues. She's just being looked at. Sorry, I'm all flustered here. She looks to be a little hurt there. The trainers are working on her, trying to figure out what's wrong with her to hopefully get her back in this one. Dixie State cannot take any more injuries, as they've already had enough injuries this season. 3 players have gone down with injuries this season. Plus, Mariah Martin went down with an injury earlier this past couple weeks ago at a home stretch against MSU Denver. She was out for a couple weeks with that injury. So we're going to see what happens here in this one, but definitely not something you want to happen all the time, as an injury is not good. Erickson's going to go to the line here. She's going to take 2 free throw shots here Erickson hasn't shot any free throws tonight so far. As Kelsey Stevenson looks like she's walking about. Will she be able to come back in the game? We're going to find out later. As there's 9:41 left to go here in the second period. 11-8 is the score here for Western Colorado over Dixie State. Erickson takes both shots and she's good on both of them. 12-8 is the lead for Dixie State. As Mariah Martinez is going to bring it up, she's going to give it off to Allie Franks. Gives it off to Lisa Van Capen. Van Capen going to drive it. Gives it off to Morgan Myers on the right side. Back over to Van Capen. Back over to Mariah Martinez. Martinez trying to get it together. Now she gives it off to Allie Franks on the right side. Franks going to try to drive it all the way. No. Gives it off to Morgan Myers. Back over to Van Capen. Van Capen is going to get called for a travel there, and that's going to be a turnover given back to Dixie, back over to Western Colorado. Cameron Mooney's not going to check back into the game for Lisa Van Capen. Goddard's going to bring it up for Western Colorado. She's going to get a little screen there by Kanzler. Kanzler's got it now. She's battling Cameron Mooney. Gets it up there. No good. Rebounded there by Erickson. Erickson puts it back up. No good there. Rebounded there by London Pavlica. Pavlica going to bring it up herself. Gives out to Mariah Martin. Martin trying to go in there. And the bucket is going to count here. It's going to be against Western Colorado. Tamara Goddard with the foul. As Chandler Willis is going to now check into the game along with Cox. Samantha Cox is going to check back into the game. The bucket is good with Mariah Martinez. She's going to shoot one, and it's no good on that one. 12-10 is the lead for Western Colorado over Dixie State. Cox is going to try to drive it. She gets up to Kanzler. Kanzler trying to battle it there, and they're going to call a little tacky foul against Cameron Mooney. That's going to be her first foul of the afternoon. I'm not 100% sure why they're going to call that one, as that was just a little measly foul. Not something I would have called. Just two bigs playing in the middle of the court. But I'm not the referees. Coleman gives it out to Willis. Willis gives it off to Cox. Gives it back over to Kanzler. Kanzler back over to Willis. Willis going to try to drive it. No. Back over to Erickson. Back over to Cox. Back over to Willis. Back over to Erickson. Back over to Kanzler. Kanzler going to get a little simple bucket there as the ball got moved around. And Cameron Mooney lost her guard there. That's Pavlica. Over to Mooney. Over to Maddie Loftus. Loftus gives it back over to Van Capen. Van Capen gives it out to Maddie Loftus. Loftus gonna try to drive it herself. No, she doesn't do that. Gives it out to Morgan Myers. Myers almost lost it there for a second. Gives it back over to London Pavlica. Pavlica gonna just try to jack it up. As London Pavlica, Morgan Myers could not find a shot. It did not work. And the turnover is going to go over to Western Colorado. Western Colorado has got a 14-10 lead here with just 7:48 left to go here. Cox over to Erickson, over to Kanzler. Kanzler going to try to buy her way in there. She does. Kanzler is going to get her second back-to-back buckets here over Cameron Mooney. Mooney is supposed to be the bigs between both of them. Mooney. Now she's going to give it off to Allie Franks. Allie Franks back over to Cameron Mooney. Back over to, trying to give it off to Morgan Myers. Gets a little screen there. London Pavlica going to try to drive it. She's going to drive it to her left side. Gives it off to Cameron Mooney. Mooney switches it up. Mallory Richardson's going to get called.
And it's good on the bucket.
That's her
there.
first foul. Count. Cameron Mooney's
Mallory
going to get her
Richardson,
first few points of this
as
afternoon.
Jesse Erickson's going to go to the line for the second time today. She was 2 for 2 already. Lines it up, and it's good on the third one. After looking at the replay, yeah, there could have been a little push, a little bit of tugging and pulling there by Mallory Richardson and Jesse Erickson. Erickson. Now Lisa Van Camp is going to check into the game. She takes out Allie Franks. 18-13 is the lead for Western Colorado over Dixie State. Little screen there by Lisa Van Kapen. Gives it out to Morgan Myers. Back over to Van Kapen. Back over to Loftus. Loftus gets a little screen there by Van Kapen. Van Kapen going to try to drive it. No. Back over to Maddie Loftus. Back over to Morgan Myers. Myers gets a little screen there. No. Gives it out to Van Kapen. Van Kapen lost it there for a second there. Gives it out to Allie Franks. Van Kapen, no. Gives off to Loftus. Loftus going to take a three. Yes. 18-16 is the lead now for Western Colorado over Dixie State. Maddie Loftus with her first 3 points of the afternoon. 6:18 left to go. Coleman gives it out to Willis. Willis on the right side. Now gives it back out to Samantha Coleman. Coleman going to try to drive with her right hand. No. Gives it back over to Cox. Cox going to give it out to Erickson. Erickson thought about taking a three. No, it didn't work. Gives it out to Parker. Parker going to drive it in. It's good. Myers. She's going to keep it herself. She's going to bring it down. Over to Van Kapen. Over to Loftus. Loftus is going to take another three, and it's good. 20-19 is the lead now. Maddie Loftus with back-to-back threes for the Trailblazers here. 20-19 is the lead for Western Colorado. Coleman's going to take a three. No, that doesn't work. Rebound there. No. Maya Richardson stepped out. It would probably would have been better for her just to let that fly out of bounds, and then that would have been Dixie State's ball, but we can't all wish for that, can we? Dixie State trailing in this game 20-19. Goddard gives off to Erickson. Erickson tries to do a little shimmy moves, and it works. Erickson puts it out. 22-19 is the lead now. Pavlica going to bring it up. Pavlica gets a little screen there by Van Kapen. No, that doesn't work. Pavlica going to take a three herself. No, that doesn't work. Rebound there by Lisa Van Kapen. Van Kapen thought it'd get herself. And they're going to call an offensive foul against Lisa Van Kapen. They're going to call her for a pushing foul. As Mallory Richardson is going to check out, and Cameron Mooney is going to get it. Goddard's going to bring it up for Western Colorado. Goddard giving the signal. She's driving on the left side. She's got two little screens out by Parker and Erickson. Goddard now gives it out to Willis. Willis going to try to drive herself. Willis all the way in the basket. But the foul is going to be called. Cameron Moo's going to call for her second foul this afternoon. And she got called for a pushing foul again. As we're going to take immediate timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. We have reached that time here. Western Colorado leads at 22-19. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We're here live in the Burns Arena here on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University in St. George, Utah. It is 6:05 on the clock here in St. George. And we got 4:49 left to go on the game clock in here in the Burns Arena. Western Colorado Lady Mountaineers are taking on Dixie State Lady Trailblazers here. 4:49 left to go as Western Colorado leads at 22-19. Some scores, some stats here. Leading scorer for the team right now is Maddie Loftus, who has 2 3-pointers in this game. She has a total of 6 points in this one. She's the leading scorer for this one. Next to her is Cameron Mooney, who has 3 points. Allie Franks has 4 points. And Mariah Martini and Kelsey Stevenson both have 2 points as Chandler Willis goes to the free throw line. And that is going to be the first missed free throw of the day for Western Colorado. They are 7 of 8. So far, Chandler Lewis is 0 for 1 at the free throw line today. She lines it up again, and she's going to miss both. Rebounded there by Erickson of her own team, Western Colorado. Goddard comes racing back down the court. She thought it was going to go stay with Dixie State. London Pavica all over her now. Erickson has Cameron. London Pavica is guarding her now. As there's a scramble on the floor, Dixie State's going to grab it. And a jump ball is going to be called. Jump ball is going to be called. Dixie State trying to get a timeout there to keep it with them, but could not do it, and the ball is going to stay with Western Colorado. Already early in this game, Western Colorado is going to be shooting free throws for the rest of this half. They're in the bonus already for Dixie State has 5 fouls already in this game. Kanzler gives it out to Erickson, being guarded by Ali Franks. Now gives out to Willis, who's guarded by Ali Franks, and Willis did not see the shot clock, and there's a 24-second violation. Gives it back over to Dixie State. There's been 3 of those in this game already today. We'll see whether they were going to try to focus in this game or not, as this is a low-scoring game, 22-19, 4:10 left to go here. Pavlica over to Coach Stevenson. Stevenson takes a 3, and it's good. The game is tied up 22-22, second period here with just 4 minutes left to go here in this one. As Goddard's going to direct the traffic here. 2 fouls to Western Colorado, only 5 fouls for Dixie State. Again, Western Colorado's going to be shooting in the bonus here. Goddard almost got that ball turned over by Kelsey Stevenson. Goddard is going to get a pushing foul against Kanzler, and Kanzler is going to get called for her first foul of the afternoon. She got a pushing foul against Cameron Mooney. These two bigs are going at each other all day, and it's been a very fun matchup to watch here, this one here so far, as they're both very young players. Cameron Mooney, only a freshman. She's 6'2", out of Salt Lake, Utah. Skyline High School is where she went to school. And for Kanzler, she's a sophomore, 6'3", out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. As Dixie State missed the bucket there, Cox is going to bring it down herself. Gives off to Goddard. Goddard going to try to drive on the right side. No. Gives it off to Paro. Paro back over to Willis. Willis back over to Cox. Cox going to try to drive it herself. No. Trying to give it up to Kanzler. Kanzler lost it there for a second. Kelsey Stevenson's going to come up with the turnover. London Powell going to push herself. Gets a little screen there by Cameron Moody. Moody going to try to drive it. No. Gives out to Maggie Loftus, who's been hot from there, and it's good. 25-22 is the lead here for Dixie State. That's her third 3 of the game. She's 3 for 3 from that spot on the right side corner. She has just been red hot from there all afternoon. 25-22 is the lead here for Dixie State. Erickson over to Erickson, and they're going to call another foul against Cameron Moody. That's going to be her third foul. That might send her to the bench for the rest of the afternoon. I might send her to the bench for the rest of this half until the second half. Cameron Mooney has 2 points and has 3 points, and I might be looking at a third foul. Kanzler lines it up, and no good. No, excuse me, Kelsey Stevens is going to be called for the foul. Cameron Mooney's going to come out anyway. As number 4, Jesse Erickson is going to check into the game now. Erickson, Willis, Kanzler, Coleman, and Cox are on the floor for Western Colorado. Loftus, Pavlica, Van Capen, Stevenson, and Franks are all on the floor for Dixie State. As Ali Franks fell on the floor because Kanzler has the weirdest free throw position of all time. She held it there like a statue for like 5 seconds and then takes her free throw shot, which is a little bit weird. As Stevenson's going to come up with the ball now. Gives it off to London Pavlica. Pavlica over to Van Capen. Van Capen going to try to body her way up, and she does. She gets a little hook shot up there. And it's going to go 27-23 is the lead for Dixie State. 2:12 left to go here as Samantha Cox is going to get it herself. Cox over to Erickson. Erickson over to Willis. Willis back over to Cox. Cox over to Kanzler. Kanzler over to Erickson. Erickson tries to shoot it up. No good. Rebounded. No, she's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to go back to Dixie State. Mariah Martinez not going to check into the game for London Pavlica. Staying ahead here. So what? Number 2, Michaela Parker just checked into the game for Western Colorado, while Kanzler checks out of the game. As she's going to get a little talking by Laurel Wrestling of the head basketball coach of Western Colorado. Martine going to drive it now. Gives it out to Maddie Loftus. Loftus has been red hot. She's 3 for 3 from the line. Gives it out to Van Capen, and it works again. Van Capen gets a little easy layup there. Extends the lead to 6. 29-23 is the lead here for Western State Colorado as Laura Wrestling yelled for like 8 times for a timeout. She could not get the timeout called. as the ref and lower wrestling are talking to each other. They just, as there's a timeout taken, a full 60-second timeout. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3, here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We're here live in the Burns Arena here on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University in the beautiful city of St. George in the beautiful state of Utah. As I try to get all that out of my mouth here, as Goddard's going to drive it up for Western Colorado. She gets a shot out just before the end of the shot clock here. 29-25 as we came out of the timeout here. It was 29-23. Samara Goddard puts it up here. With just 1 minute left to go here, Mariah Martin gives it out to Ali Franks. Ali Franks going to take a three. No good. Goddard going to bring it up. Coleman going to try to drive it. No, it doesn't work. Coleman over to Erickson. Erickson trying to give it off to Willis. That doesn't work. Gives it off to Coleman. That doesn't work. That's going to go out of bounds. It's going to stay with Western Colorado here. 42 seconds left to go here before halftime. To remind you, we're going to have the halftime show just here in a few minutes. We're going to take about a 3 to 4 minute timeout before then, and then we're going to have the halftime show. And then we'll get on to all the stats, all the highlights, and everything that's coming up. 37.7 left to go. Lisa Van Camp is going to get called for a foul there. All the big time players on this team for Dixie State: Kelsey Stevens, Mallory Richardson, Lisa Van Camp, and Cameron Murray. All three bigs that Dixie State uses in their rotation all have fouls. They all have at least a little bit more than 2 fouls in this one. Coach J.D. Gus is going to have to come over to plan during halftime and make sure her girls stay off the foul line, as Cox is going to knock down both of her. Parker's going to knock down both of her free throws to make it 29-27. The lead is here for Dixie State. Martine thought about driving. No. Gives out to Franks. Gives out to Martine. 28.7 seconds left to go. It's about 6 seconds differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Martine gives out to Franks. Gives off to Loftus. Loftus gives it off to Kelsey Stevenson. Gives it off to Ali Franks. Franks gives it back over to Mariah Martin. Martin's got 5 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Trying to drive it. No good. Rebound there by Parker. Give it out to Artello. Artello gives out to Willis. 4 seconds left to go here. Willis going to try to drive it. No good there. Rebound there by Dixie State. And that is how this half is going to end. What an amazing, incredible, gut-wrenching half there, as it was only 9-8 after first quarter. They have doubled that with 29-27 as the score going into half. We're going to take a 4-minute timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Be right back with more.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3, home of the Trailblazer Nation here all season long for basketball, baseball, football, softball, whatever sport it is around here at Dixie State University. We cover it. Anyway, after a little shout out there, we're here in the Burns Arena here on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. Beautiful city, St. George, Utah, and beautiful state of beautiful state, Utah. There's a little shout out there. Maybe somebody's listening. Maybe, I don't know, whoever. Anyway, let's get back into this. 10:20 left to go here on the halftime clock. Dixie State leads Western Colorado 29-27. And a pretty good matchup game. Looking through the numbers, Dixie State has not shot the ball that well. They've shot it 46% from the field, 50% behind the three-point line, and 50% from the free throw line. Looking at some of the numbers for Western Colorado, just in those same categories, 8 of 21 is good for 38%. 1 of 3 behind the three-point line is only good for 33%. They shot 10 of 13 from the line, from the free throw line. From that free line that you can shoot as many as 2 buckets, and you can get shots from there. And they made 10 out of 13, which is good for 76%. But some numbers that surprised me a little bit. Assist numbers. Dixie State has 10 assists, and they have 29 points. That means about a third of their shots are on an assist. They're lowering their numbers when it comes to ISO ball. When you do that, you're able to play a little bit better as a team. Instead of trying to just force and jack up shots, that means that you'll be able to get something done, which is a good thing when it comes to Dixie State here. When it comes to Dixie State, but for Western Colorado, they only had 4 assists in this game.
4 assists, and that's not great numbers, but not terrible numbers either. So they're going to have to work on their system. Turnover numbers, Dixie State only has 6 turnovers in this game. 6? I mean, we usually hear about Dixie State having about 10 or 12 turnovers by the halftime. You know, this time they don't have any of that stuff. They're not, gathered up with a bunch of turnovers, shooting the ball all the way around, not getting the right shots down. They are actually working on trying to shoot the ball better, trying to pass the ball better, trying to make sure everybody gets involved in this game. And that's actually a good thing when it comes to the fact that this team works really hard on trying to get a lot of good shots here. We're looking at some individual numbers here. May Loftus leads the team with 3 of 3 from the field. She's 3-3 behind the line. She shot 9 points in this game, and that is just what's the difference between these two. 3 3-pointers behind the line is good enough for them to do behind the line, and that is what you want to do there for Western Colorado. Their highest scoring leader is Samara Gardner, the guard. She's 2 of 3 from the 3 of 3 from the line. That's good for 7 points. Her next closest scorer is Jessie Erickson, the starting point guard. She's 1 of 5 from the field. She's 4 for 4 from the line, which is good for 6 points, which means she's staying in the game as much as you can here, every moment. As there's some dancing going on here, some dance crews are taking over the floor here at the Burns Arena here during the halftime show. But these are some good numbers. When they're talking about it, rebounds, 19 rebounds for Western Colorado, 10 rebounds for Dixie State, 2 blocks for Dixie State, and 4 steals for Dixie State, which is something that this team works on so much all the time, and it works for them as much as they can. And it's always a good thing when you try to make steals and force a team to make the turnovers. And when you do that, they're going to be good numbers and good days for you from that line. As I'm just rambling on here, looking at some individual specific numbers. From the first quarter, Dixie State shot 4 of 14, 28% from the field, shot 0 of 3 behind the line. That was only good for nothing. And then the second, that's when they started getting their stuff together. They 8 of 12 in that quarter. They were 4 of 5 behind the line and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. They only had 2 shots in this game. Dixie State had 5 fouls in this game. And that was not the good. 5 fouls in the first, and then they had 2 fouls in the second. And that's what kept Dixie State alive in the game. Western Colorado in the game for them. For Dixie State, they got to get... I think the difference in this game is, when I'm looking at it, for Dixie State, I just think Dixie State's got to work on trying to shoot better, and they have worked on a lot of trying to shoot better. As I'm battling the music here in this building here.
Let's hear it for your PET dancers.
So I'm battling the music now that the show is over. Congratulations to all those dancers. They did a really cool job. But let's get back to the basketball here. They shot really well as the Trailblazers, and anyway, back to basketball here as the Trailblazers and the Mountaineers are going to be taking the floor here. 29-27 here. It's turning out to be a good game here early in this point. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. After the 2-minute timeout, we're going to get back into this. We're going to give you more stats from the first half, and I'm going to give you players to watch, and we're going to have a great second half here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
My name is Meera. Many families have come to America for a better life. I advocate for these.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
We're live in the Burns Arena here, in a good one here between the Western Colorado Mountaineers and the Lady Trailblazers of Dixie State as both teams come back on the floor. We have about 2:58 left to go here in this halftime time here as both teams come back on the floor. If you're just tuning in, Dixie State, Western Colorado, good matchup here. 29-27 is the lead for Dixie State. It was a sluggish, slow start in the first quarter. Both teams shot, bar none, one of their worst quarters of all season and all record-wise in both schools' histories. I went back and looked at the stats. That was the lowest scoring first quarter for both teams. for Dixie State and for Western Colorado. It was 9-8 just after the first quarter, and it ended up being 29-27. A complete turnaround. The shooting got better, the shots got better, the selection of the shots got better. Some free throw shots for Western Colorado went their way, but that is none the matter as these both teams are going to get messed up here in just a couple minutes. We got 2 minutes on the clock here. Both teams are getting to start the matchup. Both teams are throwing out back their starters here in just a few minutes as the Brooks dance cam is going around and trying to catch everybody on the dance cam here. It's having a lot of fun here in the Burns Arena. It's always a lot of fun here in the Burns Arena between these two teams. As these two teams match up, it is always fun here. They always try to put on a good show here, and I do give them credit. There's 1:30 left to go here on this clock. Some players to watch. I think Mariah Martin. I just got this feeling. Mariah Martin is going to have a half that she's going to remember. I think her and Maddie Loftus is another like cold player to watch. Are going to have a quarter to remember. I think those two players are going to take off in this half, and it's going to be Dixie State for the Mountaineers of Western Colorado. Tamara Goddard and Erickson are just having themselves a good game here. I think Laura Wrestling's got her girls calmed down. They're going to start focusing here in this one. These two teams are going to match up fairly well when it comes to the second half here. We got 55 seconds left to go here in this one. Starting lineups, let's get to that. Starters for both teams are basically the same starters they had out of the first one. Mariah Martin's going to be starting point guard for the Trailblazers, followed by Lisa Van Kampen, Kelsey Stevenson, Morgan Myers, and Allie Franks are going to be the starters for Dixie State. Lisa Van Kampen is going to be the starting shooting guard. Kelsey Stevenson is the starting small forward. Morgan Myers is the starting power forward, and Allie Franks is the starting center for Western State Colorados. We only have about 18.3 seconds left to go here. Actually, no time's left on the clock. Let's get right back into this. Jesse Erickson is the starting point guard. Tamara Goddard is going to be the starting shooting guard. Chandler Wellis, Samantha Coleman, and Jaden Kanzer are going to be the rest of the three on the starting five for Dixie State and Western Colorado. Let's get back into this one already here. Almost a quick turnover there. Morgan Myers is going to drive it away to the basket. Going to get a little simple bucket there. No, it's not going to go in. 2 shots are going to be given to Morgan Myers here early, as number 4, Jesse Erickson, is going to get called for her second foul of the afternoon. She has 6 points, but 2 fouls in this game. Second time for Dixie State to go to the line today. They're 1 of 2 on the line so far today. Oregon lines them up, and it's good on the first one. 9:51 left to go as Dixie State leads at 30-27. Looking at the replay, yeah, you could call that as a little bit of a blocking foul. Good call there by the refs. 31-27 as Morgan Myers knocked down the second one. That makes Dixie State 2 of 4 at the free throw line here this afternoon. 31-27, 9:45 left to go here. Erickson gives it off to Kanzer. Kanzer battling against Van Kampen. Gives it off to Chandler Willis. It did not work. I'm going to say it sticks with Western Colorado. Goddard gives it off to Willis. Willis gives it off to Erickson. Erickson over to Goddard. Goddard went slipping through her hands. Stevenson got the turnover there as Mariah Martin's going to bring it up. Martin going to try to drive it to her right. No. Gives out to Van Kampen. Back over to Myers. Back over to Allie Franks. Franks tries to get in there. Gives out to Kelsey Stevenson. She got a good little shot there. No good. Rebound there by Western Colorado. And there's going to be a foul called on Lisa Van Kampen. Lisa Van Kampen. I think I'm saying that right. I should know this by now. I've already been calling the girls' games for so long. Van Kampen. I'm going to try to get that right here. As Goddard's going to try to drive it off the court. No, gives out to Erickson. Back over to Willis. Willis gives it back over to Erickson. Erickson trying to drive it in there. No, she lost it there. Van Kampen got the little steal in there. Frank's going to try to drive it. No, gives out to Martin. Back over to Morgan Myers. Back over to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson thought about taking a shot. No, gives it back out to Mariah Martin. She's at the top of the logo on the right side. Erickson drives it. Mariah Martin drives it all the way, and it's good. 33-27. 8:39 left to go here in the third period against Dixie State and Western Colorado. Willis gives it out to Kanzer. Kanzer going to try to drive her in, buy her way in. Gives it off to Erickson. Erickson going to try to drive in. No. And there's a foul going to be called against Morgan Myers. She's going to get called for a check-in hands foul there as Cameron Moody's not going to check in for Lisa Van Campen. Lisa Van Campen. I camp, and I just added an N to it. Goddard gives it off to Willis. As Willis as Kelsey Stevenson is going to call for a little tugging foul there. Willis is going to go to the line for 2 shots. That's Stevenson's second foul this afternoon. Willis makes her first free throw. It makes it 33-28. Look at the replay. It's a little bit of a questionable call. I would have kept letting it play there, but I'm not the refs. 33-29 as Willis knocked down both of her 2 free throw shots at her attempts there. Willis, that makes her 2 for 4 at the line today. She missed her other 2 earlier in the game as Frank's going to give it off. She's going to bring it up. Now she's giving it off to Stevenson. Back over to Franks. Back over to Mariah Martin. As Laura Wrestling, the head coach of Western Colorado, gives out to Mooney. Mooney going to take a little jumper, and it's good. Good call there by J.D. Gustin to get Cameron Mooney involved in the offense here. 35-29 is the lead here. 7:56 left to go here. Willis is going to go to Paro. Paro now checks into the game. Paro is going to be on the right side of the 3. Gives it out to Coleman. Coleman going to try to drive it all the way. And gives it out to Eric. Try to give it out to Kanzler. She tried to give it out to Kanzler. It did not work. 7:39 left to go here. 35-29, 7:36 left to go here in this one. Martine tried to drive it. No, gives out to Franks. Franks not going to drive with her right side. No good on that attempt. Rebound there by Western Colorado. Coleman going to push it up. Gives it out to Goddard. Gives out to Kanzler. Kanzler gives it out to Willis. Willis gets a little screen there. She lost it for a second. It's going to go out of bounds. And it's going to go to Dixie State. Michaela Parker is going to now check into the game for Kanzler. Kanzler. Franks gives it off to Martine. Martine gives it out to Mooney. Mooney gives it back over to Martine. Martine lost it there for a second. As there's going to be called a backcourt violation, and Coach J.D. Gustin saying that one of the Western Colorado players touched it. It should not be a backcourt violation, but that's what's the call going to be. Hopefully we get a replay here on the big Megatrons up here. I don't think we will. 35-29 is the lead for Dixie State with 6:52 left to go. As Coleman going to drive it to Cameron Wade, is going to bat it out of the way. It was too easy for her, just way too easy for her. That's Cameron Moody's second and only first block of the night. She's got a steal in this game as well. Cameron Moody's putting up a good points stats line tonight. Erickson is going to try to drive it out the right side. No. Gives out to Coleman. Back over to Coleman. Coleman going to try it now. Excuse me, Goddard. What am I talking about? Now gives it back over to Samantha Coleman. Coleman going to try to drive it now. No, she can't give it off. Back over to Erickson. Erickson going to try to drive it all the way to the back end. No. Cameron Moody gets credit for a second foul there. Ryan Martine pushes it to Kelsey Stevenson. She gets it up, and a foul is going to be called. Kelsey Stevenson is going to go back to the line as soon as he gives us a replay here just in a couple of minutes here. We're going to see what happened on those plays. As Kelsey Stevenson going to go to the line. Stevenson's 0 for 1 from the free throw line today. It's good on that one. 1 for 2 at the line. So here we're looking at the replay. And yeah, there's a couple wraparound arms there. That should have been called. Willis is not going to check back into the game. Paro is going to check out. As Stevenson's going to go to the line. Stevenson's going to try for her second one. Stevenson's good for 2 for 2 at the line today. On that one, she's 2 for 3 at the line. 37-29. The lead is now up to 9. 6:15 left to go. Gives out to Erickson. Erickson lost it almost there for a second. Allie Franks is all over her. Goddard gets the ball back. That was on the floor for a little bit. Goddard gets a little screen there. Back on Allie Franks. Gets over there. No. Cameron Mooney's all over her. Tries to drive away from Mooney. Mooney tried to get a little block there. Could not work. And the bucket's going to be good. 37-31. The lead's now to 6. 5:51 left to go here in this third. Mooney tries to, Mariah Martin tries to drive. She gives out to Cameron Mooney. Cameron Mooney gets a little bucket there, and that's good. Cameron Mooney on fire today. She's got 7 points on the night, her most points this season. Erickson going to try to drive it. Erickson pushes it up, no good. As we're going to see who gets called for the foul there. It might be either Cameron Mooney or Kelsey Stevenson. Cameron Mooney's going to call for her third foul, though she's been having 7 points. 1 block, 1 steal. She's got 3 fouls on the night, which is not what Coach J.D. Gusson wants to see out of one of her better players. Morgan Myers is not going to check into the game, as Allie Franks is going to come out. Coach J.D. Gusson is going to keep Cameron Mooney in there, even though she's got 3 fouls. There's 5:24 left to go here in this third one. Parker. It's not going to be good on any of her attempts. Martine going to push it. Gives out the Pavlica. Gives it over to Stevenson. Back over to Myers. Myers going to try to drive her. Back over to Martine. Martine pushes it. No. Gives out to Pavlica. Pavlica going to try to push it. No. Gives out to Mooney. Mooney tries to get it up. No good. No foul was called, as Coach J.D. Gusson was looking for a foul call. Goddard gets a little screen there. No, she's going to try to drive it. No. As Mariah Martinez going to be called for a foul there. Western Colorado is going to be shooting in the bonus yet one more time in this half. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here. We've reached the media timeout. Again, 30-second quick timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Don't touch that dial.
My name is Tom.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
In the beautiful city of St. George, here in the beautiful state of Utah. Here, and a good one here. Dixie State leads Western Colorado 39-31 with 4:47 left to go. Looking at the box score here, I'm going to keep mentioning it. She's one of my favorite players on this team. Cameron Moody's having herself a good game. 7 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal. She's 1 for 1 at the free throw line. She's 3 for 5 from the field. But the little cringer there for all sports fans, she's got 3 fouls here, and there's 4:47 left to go on this one. She's going to have to watch it. 2 more fouls, and she's going to be sitting on the bench for the rest of the afternoon, as Kanzler for Western Colorado now checks back into the game. Goddard's 1 for 2 on one of the free throws. Mariah Martin got called for one of her fouls this afternoon. She's got 2 fouls. As Goddard knocks down both of her free throws. 39-33, 6-point lead. Mariah Martin drives it. No, gives it out to Morgan Myers. Myers going to try to drive it. No. Gives it back over to London Pavlica. Pavlica going to try to drive it to her left. She's going to drive it over the basket. Gives out to Cameron Mooney. It did not work, but she's going to stay with Dixie State. Mariah Martin inbounds. Gives it out to London Pavlica. Has a screen there by Cameron Mooney. Pavlica going to try to drive it. Gives it out to Cameron Mooney. Mooney loses it there for a second, and the foul is called. Mooney is going to go to the line. This shoot 2. 55. Jaden Kanzler. Jaden Kanzler. That's her second foul of the afternoon. Gives it out to Mooney. Mooney gives it off the inbound play. Gives it off to Myers. Back over to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson going to take a 3, and it's good. Stevenson's good on her second 3 of this afternoon. 42-33. The lead is back up to 9 with 4:12 left to go here in this third quarter. Kanzler going to try to body her way in there, try to get Cameron Mooney on her third foul. No, it won't work. Ball is still on the ground. Out of timeout is called by timeout is going to be called by Dixie, by timeout is going to be taken by Western Colorado for them to say the ball. There was a scramble on the floor, and they got the ball there. We're going to keep it here, right here. 42-33 is the score here, as everybody tries to scramble around here. But looking at some of the other stats here, 12 of 17 from the free throw line for Western Colorado is really what's kept them in this game. Other than that, they're 9 of 24 from the field. It's only good for 37% and 1 for 3 from the three-point line. They have not shot this ball very well. They've been looking for a lot of free buckets, and they've been able to get them 12 points plus 9 buckets. 9 buckets equals times 2 equals 18. So you add the 18 points plus the 12 points. That's what gives them somewhat. And you add 3 more points to that. That's their 33 points of this afternoon. Not a great stat number there for them. But they got 31 total points. They got 7 personal fouls in this game. Check that, 8. As Kanser got called for another foul there. I do remember that one. So 8 personal fouls in this one. They have 13 turnovers. They're turning this ball over like crazy. They're trying to play hot potato with it, and it's just not working out. And if Western Colorado is going to try to take command of this game, they are the better team when it's coming into this. Dixie State's 11-8. Western Colorado's 14-6. Both of these teams are on the opposite end when it comes to the RMAC standings. And if Dixie State can sweep Western Colorado for the season series, that would be an impressive remark to put on your resume if they get a bid to the dance here. With 11-8, if they were to win out here and win a couple games in the tournament and not lose to good bad teams, they would maybe have 11 or 10 losses on their record. They could probably sneak into the dance. As Erickson's going to inbound it for Western Colorado. Goddard's going to get it over Cameron Mooney to make it 42-35 here. Goddard's got 13 points on the night. That's team high tonight. Pavlica kind of drive it, gives out to Mariah Martin. Martin going to try to drive it, no. Gives out to Myers. Myers is going to try to drive it, no. She gets a little double moves there, no, it doesn't go in. And Myers is disappointed that it doesn't go in. Willis gives it back over to Goddard. Gives it back over to Willis. Willis tried to give it off to Willis. It didn't work. Goddard got a little screen there by Kanser. Karen Moody's there for the defense, but it doesn't work. Willis just gets around her. It's now 42-37. The lead has been cut down to 6. 42-37. Pavlica takes a 3. No, it doesn't go in. Gives off to Kanser. Kanser going to get a little easy bucket. No, it won't work. And let's see who this is on. Is there a foul going to be called? It's going to go against Mariah Martin. That's going to be her 3rd foul. Mariah Martin having a little bit of a struggling game. She only got 4 points on the game. And oh, there's no foul there, but that's what the refs call. 2:58 left to go here. 42-37 is the score here. And the bucket's going to go in, 42-38. Lee's now down to 4. Cameron Moody's going to come out of the game. Lisa Van Capen, Allie Franks, Maddie Loftus, London Pavlica. I cannot tell the other player. And it's Kelsey Stevenson. As the refs rid my way for him momentarily. Pavlica going to bring it down. She's going to run the offense. 42-39, 2:50 left to go here. Pavlica. Try to give it out to Franks. Franks going to take a 3. No good. Rebounded there by Western Colorado. Irish going to give it out to Goddard. Goddard going to bring it up. 2:38 left to go. The lead's now down to 3. Willis going to give it out to Erickson. Erickson back over to Coleman, back over to Goddard. Goddard going to get a little screen there by Kanser. No, she doesn't take it. Goddard just takes it herself. No good there. Rebound there by Dixie State. And London Pavlica just drives all the way to the basket to get her 4th point of the afternoon. 2 minutes left to go here in this one. Dixie State over Western Colorado, 44-39. The lead is back out to 5. As Coleman tried to drive it, no good there. Rebounded by Kelsey Stevenson. London Pavlica going to bring it up. She's had 2 good buckets here in this half. Pavlica going to try to drive it, no. Gives it back out to Stevenson. Stevenson takes a little jumper, no good. Rebound there by Lisa Van Campen. Campen gets it back up, and it's good. Lisa Van Campen puts the team up 46-39. She puts them up 7. Coleman tries to drive it. No, she's getting guarded by Loftus. Gets it back up to Willis. Willis going to try to drive it all the way to the bucket. Willis gets it out there to Erickson. Erickson going to take a 3. No good there. Rebound there by Lisa Van Campen. Camp is going to give it out to Manny Loftus. Manny Loftus is going to try to drive it. 1 minute left to go in this game. Kelsey Stevens is going to take a three, and that's good. 49-39 is the lead here. 56 seconds left to go. Coach J.D. Gus is making sure that his team plays some good defense here. They're up by 10 here before the end of this third quarter. Loftus gathered on all Goddard. Goddard going to take a little simple jumper from the free throw line. No, that's not good. Rebound there by Lisa Van Campen. Excuse me, London Pavlik got the rebound. Passes over to Manny Loftus. Manny Loftus has been hot from the three-point line. No good. Rebound there by London Pavlik. Gets it back off to Loftus. Back over to Van Campen. Back over to London Pavlik. Now this offense slows down. Pavlik kicks it back over to Lisa Van Campen. Van Campen going to try to drive it all the way to the basket, and she's going to go to the line as Kanzler is going to get called for a foul. She's going to get called for a little hand check foul there. 25.1 seconds left to go here. 49-39. I might have done it again. 49-39 is the lead here. Van Campen takes her first free throw, so she's good on that one. As Morgan Myers now checks in for Kelsey Stevenson. As Kanzler, Erickson, and Willis check out of the game. As Goddard, as Cox, as Parker, as Paro, and as Willis on the floor for Western Colorado. Loftus, Myers, Pavlika, Franks, and Van Campen are on the floor for Dixie State. 19 seconds left to go. Goddard going to race around the court here. Wait for the few seconds. 14 seconds left to go here. 50 seconds left to go. Seven seconds left to go. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Barrow just shoots it up. No good there. Rebounded by Lisa Van Campen. And it's now 50-39, 11-point lead here in this one here in the Burns Arena. Here we got 10 minutes put back on the board. One last quarter to come up here in this one. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Be right back with more.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We're here live in the Burns Arena here as we got a good game going on. Dixie State leads Western Colorado 50-39, 11-point lead for the Trailblazers going here into the final quarter here. As this is going to be a good one here. Myers, Loftus, Pavlika, Franks, and that is the starting five. That is the five. As it's going to be Cox, Goddard, Willis, Paro, and Parker on the floor for Western Colorado. But Manny Loftus gets a little turnover there. Gives it back over to Morgan Myers. Myers going to drive away to the basket. Gives out to London Pavlika. And they're going to say London Pavlika traveled. There's 9:47 left to go here. We're at Burns Arena here on the beautiful campus of Dixie State here with the final quarter here. 9:40 left to go here. 50-39 is this for Dixie State over Western Colorado. Goddard gives it out to Cole. Back over to Parker. Back over to Goddard. Goddard's on the left side. No, she tries to go to the right side. No, she's going to go to the back of the left side. Gives it out to Willis. Willis tries to get it in there by Paro, but Morgan Myers bats it out of the way. Morgan Myers is going to go all the way. Gives it out to Manny Loftus. Loftus does a little move there and can't finish the move. She couldn't finish the bucket. She missed a little easy layup there. Goddard's going to bring it up for Western Colorado again. 9:10 left to go here in this one. Parker gives it out to Paro. Paro going to try to drive it. No, Morgan Myers always had her second turnover right there. She tried to bat the ball out. Willis on London Pavlika. Pavlika almost turned the ball over there. Lisa Van Campen got the turnover instead. Van Campen all the way to the bucket. No, she can't finish it. But Van Campen is going to take 2 shots, I believe. And Samantha Cox is going to call for her second one. Van Campen's going to go to the line again. Van Campen, she's 1 for 2 in the game from the free throw line here. Can she make it 2 for 3? She makes 1. There's that 2 for 3 I was talking about. Can she make her next one? 3 out of 4. Maybe that's a little good luck. Look at the replay. There wasn't a good foul there called by the refs. And Campen does That's got to be some good luck, as Cameron Mooney's not going to check into the game for Lisa Van Camp. Cameron Mooney, the big one on this team. She's the tough girl. She will guard Kansas, and this is going to be a good matchup here. I'm going to be trying to watch that one all night. 52-39. Coleman going to try to drive in, and they're going to call Mariah Martin. They're going to call her for another chopping foul, and that's going to be her fourth. Coach J.D. Gus has got a big decision here. Does she pull her from the bench or not? Morgan Myers is guarding there. Gother's got the ball for Western Colorado. Gives it back over to Erickson. Back over to Kansas. Kansas all over Cameron Moody. The ball is going up. No, but they're going to call Cameron Moody for her fourth foul with 8:38 left to go here. And Kansas is going to shoot. He's going to shoot 2. 7 points, 4 fouls for Cameron Moody. Let's hopefully we get a replay here. We look at it. London Public are going to come in. And yeah, there's a little bit of body movement pushing around there, so that's a good foul. I'll give the refs that. Not favorable on those calls all the time. That's Kansas going to knock down the 2 free throws here to cut it to 11. 52-41. 8:36 left to go. Pushes it up, and whoa! London Pavlika got shot it out of a cannon over Kelsey Stevenson. Little bit too much there, as Cameron Moody is going to stay in the game for the moment time being. I think Coach A.D. Gus is trying to give Lisa Van Kampen a breather there before he had to put her back in the game. Erickson tries to feed it over to Willis. Does give it over to Willis. She's on the right side of the 3. No. And there's going to be a little simple foul against Kelsey Stevenson. There's going to be a holding foul against Kelsey Stevenson. That's a shot clock gets reset. 8:18 left to go here in this one. Willis gives it in. Morgan Myers all over her. Myers on the guard. Gives it out to Allie Franks. No. Coleman not being guarded by Morgan Myers. Turnover there. Morgan Myers gets the turnover. She's got Allie Franks. Doesn't give it off. No. Rebound there by Kansler. Gives it out to Gother. Kelsey Stevenson is back there guarding. Gives it out to Coleman. Coleman tries to get up. No. 2 shots are coming, and it looks like London Pavlika is going to get called for that foul. That's the 4th foul here just in this period. As Coleman's going to take free throw shots. She's going to miss her first. Coleman's going to line it up again. Shoots it, and it's good on the second. Coleman, those were her first 2 free throws of the afternoon. She's 1 for 2 at the line so far. Gives it back over to Pavlika. Gives it over to Kelsey Stevenson. Now Dixie State trying to push it. Stevenson going to try to take a 3. No, there. Rebounded there on the scramble on the floor. The jump ball is going to get called. No timeout was called by either teams. Samantha Cox. Savannah Cox,
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 here at University. There was a change in the shot clock. They were looking at it to see whether there was 30 seconds or 20 seconds. They got back to it. There's going to be another jump ball called, and it's going to go to Western Colorado, and that will put the clock back to 30 seconds. They were checking on the times here to see what was going on here. Time clock error has been fixed. As now there's a next jump ball. It's going to go back to Dixie State here in this one. 7:30 left to go, 50-42, period number 4 here. As Coleman's going to almost get that ball stolen away. Coleman going to drive all the way. Cameron Mooney got another block. That's her 3rd block of the afternoon here. Good one right there. London Pavlika gives it out to Coach Stevens. Stevens is going to take a 3 on the right side. That's good. 55-42. That's her 16th point of the afternoon. That's the team's high. Kansler going to take a little jumper from the line. No good. And a foul is going to be called. It's going to stay with Western Colorado. And we're going to see who they're going to call it on. They're going to call a
holding foul against Allie Franks. That's going to be her second foul. Allie Franks has had 4 points and 2 fouls already with just 6:59 left to go. As now Western Colorado again, for the third period in a row, are going to shoot from the free throw line from here on out with the bonus now being added. That's a 5th foul in this half. 20 fouls on the night for Dixie State, something that Coach J.D. Gus is going to have to clean up this week in practice, something you do not want. That is going to come back to bite you in games a lot. Goddard misses. She went 0 for 2 on the line, though. Almost got it back there, but Kelsey Stevens is going to come up with it, and a foul is going to be called on Goddard, and Goddard's questioning that call as her teammates are gathering up. As now Kelsey Stevens is going to take it on an out-bounds play. Gives out to Pavlika, 55, 42, 6:50 left to go. Pavlika gets a little screen there by Kelsey Stevenson, almost turns it over. And a jump ball is going to call. It's going to stay with Dixie State. Stevenson going to inbound. Give it out to Pavlika. Pavlika gets a little screen there by Allie Franks. Gives it out to Myers. Myers tries to drive it. Gives it out to Karen Mooney. Mooney not even going to think about taking a three-pointer. That's not her game. Pavlika gets a little screen there by Coach Stevenson. Doesn't take it. Gives it out to Morgan Myers. Myers going to take a three. No good. Rebound there by Willis. Gives it up to Goddard. She's pushing it up. Allie Franks is the only defense left. She guards her up, and it's no good there. Goddard tried to get a little easy bucket there. It did not work. Pavlika tried to feed that one into Morgan Myers. That did not work. 6 minutes left to go. 55-40. As Erickson's going to get up to Coleman. Back over to Goddard. Goddard gets a little screen there. Kanzler going to try to body her way in. No, it doesn't work. Gives a rebound there by London Pavlika. Pavlika going to push it. Gives it out to Morgan Myers. Back over to Kelsey Stevenson. Back over to London Pavlika. Gets a little screen there by Cameron Mooney. Mooney gives it out to Morgan Myers. Myers trying to drive it all the way. Pushes it up, and no. Morgan Myers is going to call for a traveling foul there. As subs are going to come in. 2 subs are going to come in. Manny Loftus and Mariah Martinez. Kelsey Stevens is going to check out, and Morgan Myers is going to check out. 5:28 left to go. Lisa Van Kampen is going to go to the score table. She's going to check it on Alexa. Dead ball. Parker, who's now checks in for Western Colorado, tries to get it in. Gives it out to Goddard. Goddard gives it over to Willis. Willis tries to fit it into Kansas. Parker. Parker going to try to drive it. No, it doesn't work. And that ball is going to stay with Western Colorado. Went out from Martin. Cameron Mooney is going to check out. Lisa Van Kampen is now going to check in. Parker gives it back. Tries to drive it all the way to the basket. Lisa Van Kampen all over her. Kampen going to get called for the foul there. Kampen going to get called for her 4th foul. She's got 9 points on the afternoon. Parker trying to make her second. That doesn't work either. Rebound there by Lisa Van Kampen. Gives it out to Mariah Martin. Martin going to try to push it. Martin trying to get a little screen there by Kampen. Doesn't work. Try to give it back over to London Pavlika. Pavlika going to now try to give it back over to Lisa Van Kampen. Van Kampen going to try to drive it. No, keeps it back over to London Pavlika. Back over to Mariah Martin. Martin going to try to drive it. She loses it there for a second. Tamara Goddard guys it up for Western Colorado. Tried to drive it over to the basket. No good, but Mighty Loftus is going to get called for the foul. Loftus is going to call for her 1st foul. We have reached the media timeout in this period. 4:36 left to go in this one. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We're here in the beautiful arena of Burns Arena here on the beautiful campus of Dixie State, here in the beautiful city of St. George, Utah, here in the beautiful state of Utah. So let's get back to this one. Dixie State is leading Western State Colorado 55-42, 4:36 left to go here in this one. Western State Colorado is going to be shooting free throw fouls from here for the rest of the night. They are a 19 of 29 from the free throw line tonight. That is ridiculous. They're shooting that ball so
perfectly. There is a total of 22 fouls against Dixie State tonight. That is a season high for the team, something Coach J.D. Gus is going to have to work on this week in practice. I'll talk to him about that this upcoming week. Goddard's going to go to the line. Shoots it, and it's good from there. 55-43, 4:36 left to go. Goddard shoots it up, it's good. 55-44, the lead is now down back to 11. We're going to look at some other stats here just in a minute. Mariah Martin gives over to Lisa Van Campen. Van Campen shoots it up, no good, as she's going to go to the line. Other stats here, 20 for 47 is the total field. 20 shots for 47 is how Dixie State is doing from the field. They're 7 of 16 from the three-point line, of 8-10 from the free throw line. Lisa Van Campen shoots her first one, and it's good on the second one. As I said, 22 fouls in this one, 26 total rebounds, 55 total points, 15 assists, 13 turnovers, 7 blocks, and 10 steals. That is outstanding stat line for Dixie State. As Lisa Van Campen knocks down both of those. Cameron Mooney is the leader on those blocks. She's got 5 blocks in this game plus 1 steal. She's had a terrific game for herself. 57-44 is the score here for Dixie State after Van Campen knocks down both of those shots. Willis tries to do a little hook shot. No, it doesn't work. Rebound there. Jump ball is going to be called, and it's going to stay with Western Colorado. And the head coach for Western Colorado, Laura Wrestling, is not happy with that, with the fact that there was a jump ball called. Goddard is going to inbound it, gives it out to Cox. Cox is being guarded by London Fabrica. Gives it out to Parker. Parker being guarded up by Lisa Van Campen, and that's good on that bucket. 57-46, 3:56 left to go here. Down by 11 is Western Colorado to Dixie State. London Pavlica tries to drive, gives out to Van Campen. A little easy bucket there on the layup, and it's good. Van Campen's going to get credit for the assist. Lisa Van Campen's going to get 13 points. Van Campen turns around, and Allie Franks is going to call for the foul there. She's going to call for a hooking foul there. That's going to be her 4th foul, and that is the 23rd foul on Dixie State, as Kelsey Stevenson and Morgan Myers are going to go to the bench. Plus that foul, 4 players are in the red when it comes to fouls. Lisa Van Campen, Mariah Martin, Morgan Myers, and Cameron Mooney all have 4 fouls. 1 more foul, and they all check out of the game. Morgan Myers gives it out to Mariah Martin. Martin gets a little double team there. No, it doesn't work. Gives it out to Van Campen. Van Campen gets it out. Gives it back out to Mariah Martin. Gives it out to Kelsey Stevens. Stevens is going to take a 3. Yes. 62-47 is the lead for Dixie State here. Western Colorado is going to have to try to do something, as Kelsey Stevenson has 19 points in this game. As a timeout is going to be taken by Western Colorado in this one, as they're going to take a 60-second timeout. We're going to take a 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Don't touch that dial.
My name is...
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 here live in the Burns Arena for an amazing game that's going on between Dixie State and Western State Colorado here. Dixie State leads it 62-47 with just 3:13 left to go here in the Burns Arena. A good crowd is on hand today. A good 500 people here in this one right now, as there's more going to pile in. Of course, for the men's game right after this one, the men's team will be taking on Western Colorado in this game, and that's going to be a good one as well. As Coleman's going to try to drive it for Western Colorado, shoots a little jumper, and it's good. (62-49) is the lead. They try to double team Mariah Martin, gives out to Pavlica, gives out to Morgan Myers, gives out to Kelsey Stevenson. Stevenson going to take another 3, no good. Rebound there by Western State. Western Colorado going to bring it up. Goddard on the drive. Gives it back off to Cox. And it's good with that one. And the lead's now cut down to 11 with just 2:40 left to go. Morgan Myers is going to call for that foul. That's her second foul of the afternoon. Morgan Myers only has 2 points on the afternoon here. Leading scorer for this team is Kelsey Stevenson with 19 points. Followed by that is Lisa Van Kampen with 13 points. As the ball is going to go out of bounds, it's going to go back to Dixie State. 2:38 left to go here in this one. Brian Martin going to bring it up. Try to double team Mariah Martin yet again. Gives it out to Pavlica. Gives it out to Van Kampen. Van Kampen do a little hook around. No, it doesn't work. Kelsey Stevenson does a little hook around as well, and that works. 62-41, 2:20 left to go. Goddard. Over to Willis. Willis is going to take a deep three. No, that doesn't work. Rebound there by Kelsey Stevenson. Give it out to Brian Martin. Martin going to get the double team again. Martin gives it out to Van Kampen. Van Kampen gives it over to Brian Martin. Martin going to do a little jumper. No good there. That's going to go out of bounds. It's going to stay with Dixie State. Timeout taken by Dixie State here in this one. 1:56 left to go. They taking a complete total 60-second timeout. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap this one up here in the Burns Arena. Don't touch that dial.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3, live in the Burns Arena here on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University, here in the beautiful city of St. George, here in the beautiful state of Utah. We have a great game here. Dixie State University versus Western State, Colorado. 64-51 is the lead for Dixie State here. 1:56 left to go in this one. I do not expect that much intensity with timeouts coming up. I expect everybody just to play a very soundful game here. As a reminder, Western State, Colorado is taking bonus shots from here on out. Free throw shots all the way around until this game is over. Coleman's going to take a three, and it's good. 1:39 left to go here. 64-54. The lead is now cut back down to just 10. London Pavlica lost it, and Willis is going to get called for a foul when it comes to Western Colorado. Allie Franks can now check back into the game. Lisa Van Kampen. Stevenson. Checks it in, gives it out to Brian Martin. And it's batted out of the way. 1:28 left to go. She gets a little round there. She still can't get it off. 1:20 left to go here. Doesn't give a screen off to Pavlica, just trying to drive the clock down. This is still a 10-point lead. Pavlica gets a little screen there by Allie Franks. Allie Franks gets it. That's good on a little jumper there. 66-54, 1:08 left to go here in this one. Goddard gives it out to Coleman. Coleman going to take a deep three, and no, that doesn't work. Rebound there by Morgan Myers. Myers going to try to drive it. 58 seconds left to go. Gives it out to Mariah Martin. Martin getting swallowed up there. And jump ball is going to call. It's going to stay with Dixie State. 66-54, the lead is up to 12. 53.9 seconds left to go in this one. Martin gives it out to Stevenson. Stevenson gives it back out to Pavlik. Drives the clock down. 44 seconds left to go here. 10 seconds left to go on the game clock. Pavlica going to try to drive it all the way, and now gives it out to Martin. Martin thinks about taking a three. No. Gives it back out to Pavlica. Pavlica got to take a shot. And the shot does not get off in time. 29.5 seconds left to go. 66-54. And a 30-second timeout has been called by Western State, Colorado. We're going to keep it here. Just 29.5 seconds left to go. I do remind you guys, we're going to have a quick 5-minute post-game show right after this one here and this one. And then the men's game is going to be on with Carrick Sedmiller and his crew. We're going to have that game here on Radio Dixie 91.3 as well in this one. But for the starts, let's get back to our game as there is a good one to wrap up here. 29.5 seconds left to go here. Leading scorer of this team is Kelsey Stevenson. Kelsey Stevenson had herself a great game today, 21 points in this one. I got the player of the game wrong. I thought it was going to be either Mariah Martin or Maddie Loftus. They were going to have the good shooting night. That didn't work. And now it looks like it's going to be Kelsey Stevenson being the good player today. As Coleman's going to try to drive it, and it's good on that bucket. 24.9 seconds left to go. It's 10-second lead. Ryan Martin gets away from a little intentional
foul there. And Willis is going to get called for the reach-in foul. 18 seconds left to go flat here. 66-56 here. Ryan Martin gets it in. Almost London Pavlica. 10 seconds left to go here. As there's another foul going to be called. Goddard going to call for the push foul. And Pavlica is going to go to the line for possibly the last free throw shots of the afternoon. Dixie State is put into the bonus here. That's a little reference there, but that's not going to really matter as this game is all about wrapped up here. 9.2 seconds left to go in this one. Pavlica. Gonna shoot it, and it's good. Number 3, Brenson and Trelio is gonna check into the game. 9.2 seconds left to go. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Coleman's going to take a 3. No good. And that is going to wrap this one up here. Dixie State walks out of here in the Burns Arena with a huge win against Western State, Colorado. 67-56 is the final here on this one. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Right after this one, we're going to wrap this game up with the Dixie State postgame show here on Radio Dixie 91.3, home of the Trailblazer Nation. Don't touch that dial.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
1.3. We're here live in the Burns Arena here to wrap up this game between the women's team of Dixie State Trailblazers and the Lady Mountaineers of Western Colorado. As both teams have left the court. The men's teams are now on the court right now. Looking at the box score right here real quick. 24-54 for the men's team. For the women's team, 8 of 18 from the three-point line and 11 of 14 from the free throw line is how the Dixie State team will finish from that. They had 31 rebounds in this one, 67 total points, 24 personal fouls in this game. Something Coach J.D. Gus is going to have to clean up here in this one to get ready for this game here. And this one, definitely something they're going to want to fix. Also, 10 steals in this game, 7 blocks, 14 turnovers, and 18 assists. They were passing the ball. They were feeding it to everybody. This was a good game for this team to feed the ball between each other, something that this team really worked on a line in practice. I saw that they were trying to eliminate their turnovers and make sure this team got really good together and played really well, and they did that in a perfectly good way. Let's wrap this one up real quick. Obviously, a player of the game for this team would be Kelsey Stevenson. She had 21 points in this one. She had a perfect game, 21 points. She was 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 5 of 7 from the three-point line, and 7 of 12 from the field in this one. This was a good way to end this game in this one. She had no steals, no assists, no turnovers, no blocks. She did have one steal in this one. She played 29 total minutes. It was a good game from her in this one. Indeed. Definitely a good game for them. Upcoming schedule for the teams here for just Dixie State women's team. For the women's team in this one. After this one, they're going to have Colorado Mesa, and then they're going to go back on the road for Adams State and Fort Lewis, and they're going to come home and finish with 3 home straight games. Regis, Colorado Christian, and Westminster. That's going to be the final game of the tournament. We're going to see how all that goes well. Thank you for tuning in to Radio Dixie 91.3. I do appreciate it. In 18, we're going to have the men's game here as well. So don't touch that dial. Stay tuned. Carrick Sagnor and his crew are going to call that game. We're going to have that in just a few minutes here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You've been listening to Dixie State Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. For more information on Dixie State Athletics, DixieStateAthletics.com. Thanks for listening to Radio Dixie 91.3.